To bring in now Caitlin Pollins, who's been following this for us, along with retired FBI supervisory agent Richard Kolko. So we also heard from Jeanine Pirro. She was asked specifically about, wasn't there damage before? Was this pulling up something that was perhaps already coming loose? She didn't answer that question, whether there was a tool or bare hands, because the president claims somebody went in with a knife, right, and damaged it. She said bare hands, but that the damage resulted in about 2 square feet, Caitlin.
Yeah, what is really interesting in how they're presenting this is they're trying to make an example of David Hearn here. She did say exactly that 2 square feet of sealant is what he is accused of damaging, and they say that they have witnesses that could testify at a trial who had seen this happen. Now, when Donald Trump described the slit in the reflecting pool, he said it was 350 feet long, and the reflecting pool itself is 350,000 square feet. That's really big, and 2 square feet of sealant is a very, very, very small piece of that. They're saying that the amount of damage there that David Hearn is accused of providing or of damaging is worth more than $1,000 of hurting private property or federal property. Clearly, she also is leaning into the witnesses who believe that he was being belligerent, rude, and disrespectful, although I will say that is not a crime.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you in terms of, and I could see, Richard, you reacting to some of that during this press conference. It is not a crime to be rude or disrespectful, right? Perhaps, you know, we wouldn't like to see it, but that is not a crime. I thought it was interesting, too, you know, she had said repeatedly, we can prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. He caused this damage. That evidence is going to be key here. She did not really answer a question, was asked more specifically about evidence, asked about pictures, because this came up at the time. How critical is that to proving this beyond a reasonable doubt?
I think the investigation here is going to be fairly simple. The issue of, do you charge him for this crime? Should he face this serious of penalties? That's a whole different issue. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to be able to build a timeline. They're going to get photography. They've got the witness interviews. They've got forensic evidence. So if you're even a junior investigator, and this is your case, did somebody vandalize the pool? I think building that case file will be fairly simple, enough that they had enough to go to the grand jury, get that indictment now, and now the investigator, whatever investigative team is assigned this case, will continue the investigation, fill that out. The attorney, the prosecutor will want to see the entire case file before they go forward to trial.
She was also asked specifically, did you decide to charge harshly at the president's request? Because the president was very upset about this at the time, right? And as we mentioned, you mentioned before the press conference started, he had said at the time, this is a serious charge, you could be facing 10 years of prison.
And that's the charge that they went with here. Now, she said no immediately whenever that question was asked by our producer, Casey Gannon, who was in the room at that press conference. And Pirro, she's knocking that down, but she also is leaning into this idea that there should be accountability for damaging a national treasure. That sounds very like something that Donald Trump has been saying since we were seeing this happening. And then also she's saying that Hearn was being violent in the way that he grabbed at the cover of the reflecting pool.
I mean, that's the word she used, right? She said forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner. It was interesting because she did, as you point out, she talked a lot at the beginning of this press conference about the importance of maintaining these national monuments, that they belong to all Americans. You know, she talked about having vivid memories of seeing destruction. This is not the way a civilized society should act. This is anarchy, in her words. There was a reporter who, it seemed, was attempting to ask her a question about January 6th, because I think it does lead to a question about, right, destruction of property. We look at what happened on January 6th. She shut that down. She wouldn't even allow a question.
Right. Her quote was, at the very beginning, she said, I have vivid memory from years ago of a national monument being defaced. What is she talking about?
It's not clear what she's talking about. Exactly. She did talk about ropes and pulling things down. It's not clear what she was referencing. Yeah.
It's quite a case that they've charged, and I've been looking at the court documents this whole time while Jeanine Pirro is speaking, and there's very little that they have said in court in the indictment. It's not a lengthy indictment. It's one line that says he's charged with this crime.
And just to be clear, we have not. I know you're reaching out, but we haven't yet heard back from Richard Hearn's attorneys, correct?
Not at the moment. I'm waiting to see what they may say in response to this. Sometimes attorneys will only respond in court. We know that previously Hearn has said he was being curious. He wasn't vandalizing this, and they have also said there's not evidence here. One thing that she didn't mention that I was listening listening for is whether or not they had video or photos of him in the act. And when she was asked about the evidence, she said she did not want to get into evidence, but there were witnesses.
And then she said, come to the trial.
Yeah.
So there we go. We'll wait and see, I guess, what the evidence is. Wait for more developments on this. Great to have both of you with us here as we walk through it. Caitlin, Richard, thank you.
Thank you.